and welcome to my tarot corner. Okay, so ignore that candle. Just the match got broken in my hand, so I just left it this way, and that's it. And this reading is going to be done with the Black Cat Tarot, which is a mini deck. And I did say that I ordered the big size deck, but it hasn't arrived yet. So I'm going to use this one because I'm going to do a reading about Prince Andrew. This will be my only reading today. Today is a very hectic day. I have quite a lot to do later on, and I do have my master's course in tarot today, so I have to do a lot of things before it starts because it goes on all the way until evening. And I'm going to do a reading about Prince Andrew, who is kind of the black sheep of the royal family, and so that is why the black cat seemed fitting, although I have to say that my first cat was black and I just loved him. And I don't want to tell you about how he died because it was really traumatic, but maybe I will one day. I do want to thank Trevor Colt for the shout out. It was really very generous of him, and Trevor is such a good person. He really cares about everyone in our community, and he really does do, I mean, he's amazing, really. So what am I going to read about? So today I heard two things about Prince Andrew. The first was Lady C, who said that Epstein actually set a trap for Prince Andrew, and the whole issue of the picture that was taken of the two of them walking in Central Park, that was all a setup, probably something that Epstein did in order to be able to blackmail Andrew, never thinking that it will come out and will cause Andrew so much trouble. But I wouldn't be surprised if we learned that Epstein was the one who doctored that picture with Virginia Giuffre, the one that miraculously went away and nobody can find the original photograph. So that was one thing. And the other thing is that Prince Harry apparently is going to spare Prince Andrew in his book, Spare. And that is something that Neil Sean said, and apparently that was because Princess Eugenie asked Harry to do so when she visited him, and you remember they went to this football play and football game. I'm sorry, and it was and they went out and with Jack Brooksbank and Meghan. And what Neil Sean claims is that she asked him to not to dwell into her father, not to mention her father, and he obliged her. So it is kind of curious to think that from all of the people in the royal family, the one that you could say that is worthy scrutinizing, Harry decides not to. But once again, I really don't want to get into whether or not Andrew is guilty, but it is kind of curious that Harry decided to spare him from his book, if it's true. So let's put the cards into play. Before I start, please take a few moments to read my full disclaimer in the description box. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourself. Okay, so let's start with the first question, and I'm going to do the SOS readings that give me a really good insight. Really, most of the readings can be done by an SOS question. So let's start by clearing the deck. And let's start asking. Did Epstein put a trap in front of Prince Andrew? Did he try to blackmail him? Was the picture of Epstein and Prince Andrew walking in Central Park part of a scheme by Epstein to blackmail Andrew? Was that a trap that Epstein put in front of Andrew? So let's take 3 cards, and the answer is in the middle. And I remind you that most of the cards are message card, and then we need to look at the interpretation of the card, whether it is a card of whether it is a negative or positive card, and what is the psychological interpretation, and then look into the intuition as well. So the psychological interpretation of the first card is the 7 of Wands. Now, the 7 of Wands is a card that it's a message card. And the 7 of Wands speaks about concentrating on the most important things and putting aside the trivial ones. And if you're talking about a possibility of someone putting a trap in front of someone else, trying to make him do something that he can then use it to let's say to blackmail him. So if this is the question, the 7 of Wands is a card that says yes. Why is that? Because this is a card that speaks about focusing on the most important things. And for Epstein, he was thinking about getting what he wanted. He was focused on the most important thing for him at that time, which was to gain something from Prince Andrew. This card shows us, first of all, this is a card that speaks about getting out of the comfort zone and getting Andrew to do that walk in the park in plain daylight was probably something that Andrew wouldn't have done so lightheartedly. And this is something that required to convince Prince Andrew to get out of his comfort zone. This is a card that speaks about ego. And the ego here is both of them. Both Andrew has a big ego, and Epstein had a big ego, and Epstein knew that if he traps Prince Andrew in something like that, Prince Andrew's ego will not allow him to let it be public, and he did not want to be scrutinized this way. So first of all, this is a card of ego. This is also a card of mistakes, of confusion, of someone who is doing a mistake. And I didn't understand that. So this is Prince Andrew making a mistake because he is getting lost in the details. This is a card of someone who is not focused. He's having problems in getting focused. So once again, this is leaning towards the yes for this specific question, but it is a message card. So let's see what we have on the sides. And the cat here is looking towards this side, so I'm going to open this card first. And here we get card number 6, which is the Lover's card. Lover's card, it is a card of being total. This is another card that speaks about being focused. Both of these cards are speaking about being focused on something, and the Lover's card is telling the person that we're talking about, Prince Andrew, to be focused on the things that are most important for him, to look at his life way and look at the things that are redundant and take them out of his way. This is about making life choices, and this is about being very total in what you choose. And if you are having problems with that, then you're not focused. So this is another message card. This is not a card that is badly expecting or positively aspecting the 7 of Wands, but this cat here is looking at the 6 or at the Lover's card, and he does look at the need to take out what is redundant from his life. And Epstein at that time was not helping Andrew to go forward in his life's pathway. He was the redundant thing. He was what Andrew should have taken out. And this only shows us how difficult it was for him, because it is a major arcana. And major arcanas are always cards that are in the spiritual lane and are finding it very hard to get down to the ground. On the other side, we get the Ace of Wands. And this is a card that the cat here is putting his back towards it. Why is that? Because the Ace of Wands is actually positively aspecting the 7 of Wands. It's a card of getting your wishes realized in the material world. Now, Andrew actually doesn't want to see that, because this is the reason why he agreed to go out with Epstein. This is why he agreed to that walk in the park. That was part of him thinking that he might be able to reach some kind of agreement, something that will help him get his wishes realized in the material world. But once again, because he was not focused, because he was not thinking clearly, and he couldn't make decisions that are critical decisions. He could not say to Epstein, you are redundant, I don't need you in my life, you are a bad influence. He couldn't say that, because in the back of his mind there was this ace that was there and was promising him that if he does let's say do something that is contrary to his own beliefs, that will help him get his wishes realized in the material world. So this is a card of someone who is a creative, someone who is creating from nothing. And as you can see here, this is a cat that is painting. So he's an artist, he's creating. This is a creation, but it is also a card of ego. So both of these cards are egocentric cards of people that have difficulty in making decisions that are contrast to their own ego. And in a way, because we have here this lion, this is just, in my intuition, looks to me like Andrew and Epstein. Epstein was the lion that was masking himself, as you can see, wearing this skull of something else. So he was masking himself as something else, and he was trying to get the Andrew to do something that Andrew at first did not want to do. So that, I believe, Lady C, and that meeting in the park was a trap set by Epstein in order to get Andrew to do something that he wasn't willing to do in the beginning. So this is the first question. Now the second question is regarding Harry, and did Harry obliged his cousin Eugenie, and maybe that is the reason why Eugenie was keeping a good relationship with Harry. So if it's because she wanted, is it because she wanted Harry to not to write about Andrew in his book? That is a good question, so we will look into it. So today you're getting 2 in the price of 1, and that will be just one video for today, and I do apologize. I hope that tomorrow I'll be able to do more. Okay, so let's start by clearing this deck once again. Okay, so did Eugenie ask Harry to spare Prince Andrew from his book, and did Harry oblige Princess Eugenie? So is Harry going to spare Prince Andrew from his book because Eugenie asked him to do so? What is the truth behind that? And for this, I think I will do a BS detector, because this is a little bit more complicated. We're talking about 3 people here. Both Harry, Eugenie, and Andrew are involved. So the first card is the significated card that shows us the question, and we get here the 4 of Wands. 4 of Wands, that is embarking on a way, on a road to on a victory quest, but thinking about the way, thinking about enjoying the way, not about the victory that is looming at the end of the road. So this card is a card of a family. This is a card of happiness. This is a card of someone who is going out on adventure. And this is a card of someone who will sacrifice for the cause. So in this instance, it shows me that Eugenie did sacrifice things in order to get the cause, or the cause that she thought is important, which is to get her father out of Prince Harry's book. So this card is just a card that shows that victory is something that all 3 of them have in the back of their mind. Harry wants his book to succeed. Eugenie wants to have Harry to have her father outside of Harry's book. So does Prince Andrew, who probably asked Eugenie to talk to Harry. So this card just shows us the entire story here, because Harry is embarking on this road for success, or what he believes will be a success. He's neglecting to enjoy the road. He's thinking about the victory. All of them are thinking about the results and not about the actually road. And this card shows that Princess Eugenie would go to very big length in order to get what she wanted, and this is a person that will sacrifice things for that, and a person that will do things in order to get the victory that she thinks, or that is in the end of the road. And this is a person that sacrifices the present for the future. So this is what Eugenie did. And this is telling us that Prince Harry, in his road or in his mind, he's thinking about the victory and the success. So let's see what is the lie here. And the lie is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, that is a card of shackles. That is a card of a person that is emotionally shackled. This is a person that is blocked. And this is the lie. So what does it mean? This is a card of someone who is desperate. This is a card of someone who is depressed. This card is representing Harry very well. This is a card of someone who will lie, will betray, will conceal, will do all sorts of things in order to get that victory. So in my opinion, this is just what this card is trying to tell us is that Harry might have said to Eugenie that he's going to leave Prince Andrew out of the book, but he's not actually going to do that. This is a card of someone who will betray, someone who will lie. He probably said whatever she wanted him to say. He thought that it will help him when they come to the Jubilee, or later on, or another engagement. He thought it will help him to show the world that he's still in good contact with Eugenie. Now, just to remind all of you, at the Queen's funeral, there was frostiness between Eugenie and Harry, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's because Eugenie realized that Harry lied to her. This is a card of someone who will conceal. So this is the lie, and because this is the lie, I'm looking at the negative aspects of this card. Negative aspects of this card are that Harry is so shackled, so blocked, so emotionally blocked, that he is keeping secrets, that he is betraying his own family, that he is in desperate situation, that he is depressed, and that he is lying to the whole world. He's concealing things, he's helpless, he feels trapped, but he doesn't know how to get out of this. So he is unable to do the real things, and to do things in order to get free, and he has tendency to conceal the truth. Okay, so this is the lie. What is the truth? And the truth is the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords, that is a card of another card of a battle, of animosity between two people. This is a card that shows that for Harry, there was no choice that was a good choice. Leaving Andrew outside of the book, that wouldn't have been good, because the whole world will come out and say, where is Andrew? Why is Andrew not here? Why aren't you talking about Andrew? What have you done in order, or what have you promised, or what were you promised in order to leave Andrew outside of the book? But the choice of putting Andrew is outside of the book is, but including Andrew inside the book is lying and betraying Eugenie, which he probably promised that he won't include Andrew in the book. So this card is showing us that Harry is was facing two bad choices, and he just had to make one choice, and he was afraid of getting hurt. He felt isolated. He wasn't satisfied with what he had. He wasn't, and Penguin Random House were not as satisfied with the book as it was. So maybe he did try to leave Andrew outside of the book, but once Penguin Random House returned the book to him, he realized that he has to put him inside the book once again. And this card shows that he actually let others decide for him. It's so hard for him to actually be active and get off the fence. And he was trying to sit on the fence, but when he was faced the decision, he let others decide for him. He let probably his wife, maybe his ghostwriter. That is someone who lets others decide for him, and he is afraid of himself getting hurt. He's afraid of his own possible unsuccessful endeavor. So this card shows that he just had to choose one choice. None of those were a good choice for him, and he just let others decide for him. He couldn't make the choice by himself. And let's see what is the outcome. Is Andrew inside or not, inside the book or not? And what I'm getting here is the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is the celebration card. And a celebration card could be a celebration for Andrew and Eugenie and maybe Beatrice for the successful endeavor not to get Andrew outside of his book of Harry's book. This could also be the celebration of Harry at the initial success of this book. And I did tell you that the book is going to succeed, and everyone who is talking about it is saying the book will reach the top of the list of the bestsellers. People will buy the book, at least at the beginning. I'm quite positive that it will reach the bargain bin quite quickly, but at the beginning, Harry will have some reason to celebrate. And just by the card of the Eight of Swords, I believe that he will include Andrew in the book. Okay, so that is the tarot, and I'm going to take an oracle card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. This is a wisdom card for Andrew. So let's see what the Wisdom of the Oracle says. And just my daughter just entered the house with terrible, terrible news, and I feel sick in the moment, just at the moment. Okay, so let me just try and concentrate and just clear my thoughts and my energies and concentrate on this. And as I was saying, because of the Eight of Swords, I believe that Harry is thinking of his own ego, his own celebration, his own victory. As you can see, we have two celebratory cards here, the Three of Cups and the Four of Wands, and the two cards of the yes or no are Swords card. So I believe that Harry is doing what is good for the book and for Harry, or at least if it's not his decision, then someone decided for him. So let's clear the deck. Okay, so advice for Andrew. Advice for Andrew. What kind of advice can we give Andrew? Okay, so the card that I'm getting is by the book. So let's see what it means. So the essential meaning of this card is abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, universal law. So this is like the perfect card for Andrew, because Andrew right now needs to understand that he needs to abide by social rules, and the social rules say that you do not associate with a known pedophile, you do not associate or you do not have sex with a young woman of 17, even though it's allowed legally. And this is a card that tells that to Andrew that he should conform to the family rules, into the cultural rules. He needs to respect them. And this is something that shows us that he will have to, unfortunately, pay the price. And this is a card that shows us that Andrew has no choice. His family will not let him get back into the royal fold because the British people are not willing to let him get back. And as you can see, it's by the book. So, and we were asking about the book, or Harry's book. So by the book, he's going to be in the book, and he will have to understand that this is something that it's not even Harry's decision. But unfortunately, Harry is just concealing the truth. Harry is just betraying them, and I believe that this is why there was frostiness between Harry and Eugenie, and I think that this is another nail in Harry's coffin. So this is it for this reading, and I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, write me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.